Mistakes? Doctor Who? Surely not. Don't be silly. Yeah, alright, okay, fine, otherwise we wouldn't have a list. Look, sometimes we slip up, it's fine. So please know that this is a video made with love. Make sure that you read the original article by the lovely Jacob Simmons, and thank you so much to poor Danny who has to turn this into wonderful pictures. I'm Sean Ferrick for Who Culture, and here are 10 Doctor Who mistakes you won't believe they missed. Number 10. Teleporting Paul, knock knock. Series 10's Knock Knock serves as a valuable lesson in vetting your potential landlord. The episode takes place in Bill's new home as the 12th Doctor drops in to help her move, only for things to get creepy when her new roomies randomly start disappearing. Maybe the odd nature of the house can explain this blatantly obvious continuity error right at the start of the episode, or maybe not. After Bill bins the Doctor off after he helps her move her stuff, she gets some more assistance from another Scot, her housemate Paul. Boxes in hand, Bill and Paul start walking up a staircase to her room. Bill starts off in front of him, but then we see them in the very next shot, and they suddenly swap places. How did Paul get ahead of Bill on that very narrow staircase? Did he jump over her, Danny Pink style? Did he fall through a wormhole and transport ahead of her? This being Doctor Who, I mean yes, probably wormhole. Number 9. Shooting Star, A Town Called Mercy. Remember when Matt Smith's 11th Doctor ended up in a western? His silliness was a perfect foil for the ultra-macho traditions of this genre, and the resulting episode was bloody great. Accompanied by Amy and Rory, the Doctor ends up in a town called Mercy and must work out what to do when a cyborg called the Gunslinger demands they hang over his creator, Kalar Jex. Cue lots of gunfights, riding around on horses, and, of course, Stetson wearing. Stetsons are cool, after all. After the Gunslinger takes out the local marshal, he passes his star-shaped badge to the Doctor. At face value, this badge seems totally ordinary, until you discover that, like our mate Paul, it can teleport at will. In one shot, it's at the top of the Doctor's jacket, right in its lapel. In the next, it's shifted over to the side underneath his breast pocket, before moving back to its original position all over again. There's absolutely no consistency to its position, and this scene was clearly filmed across multiple takes. The costume designer must have been a bit of a cowboy. That's from the original article, okay? If you hated that one, that's on Jacob. If you love that one, that's also on Jacob. Number 8. Positions, please. The Seeds of Death. With Patrick Troughton at the TARDIS controls and Jamie and Zoe at his side, The Seeds of Death takes viewers on a journey to the late 21st century and pits its heroes against the villainous Ice Warriors. In this story, the frosty Martians are out to invade the Earth by rendering its atmosphere inhospitable. Don't worry guys, the human race is already working on that one for you. Since the earliest years of Classic Who rarely, if ever, did multiple takes, a fair few errors snuck into the finished products. There's one here that you'd certainly miss if you weren't looking for it, but now you'll never be able to unsee it. Just after Jamie and Zoe crack the Ice Warriors' plan, they have to hide from one of them. They sneak behind a nearby door, and the menacing creature stalks the room they were just standing in, breathing like it's just chain-smoked a pack full of cigarettes. If you look beneath the Ice Warrior's feet, you'll see 2 strips of white tape. This is called a T-mark, which are used in rehearsals to let actors know where they're meant to be standing. They're also meant to be removed before shooting begins. Whoops. Number 7. Don't lose your headphones. School Reunion. School Reunion is a nice little episode. Not only does it have Anthony Head hamming it up as an evil Krillitane disguised as an even more evil creature, Headmaster, but it also saw the return of Elizabeth Sladen as Sarah James Smith for the first time in over 20 years. We're not counting dimensions in time here. But one thing it definitely doesn't do well is this absolute whopper of an error during its dramatic climax. The Krillitanes are using the minds of school children to try and crack a universal code that will essentially make them gods, until Mickey literally pulls the plug on this plan and gets the kids out of school before it blows up. Firstly, there's no way that a British school would ever have that many computers in 2006, and secondly, weren't those kids wearing headphones a second ago? Literally, in the blink of an eye, every single pair of headphones magically disappears from their heads. It's obvious they tried to hide this mistake by editing the scene so quickly, but you can't fool us, Mr. Doctor Who editor. Well, I mean, there's a lot of teleporting props in this list, isn't there? And speaking of which, number 6, light weaponry, the Battle of RANSKOOR av KOLOS. Jodie Whittaker's 13th Doctor crashed onto our screens in 2018, battling an alien known as Tim Shaw in her first full episode. Timmy rears his ugly head again in the series finale, the bafflingly named The Battle of RANSKOOR av KOLOS. Good luck saying that when you've had a few. This second encounter stirs up bad memories for companions Graham and Ryan. Grace, Graham's wife and Ryan's grandmother, was killed by Tim Shaw, and both men are out for revenge. This desire for vengeance seemingly gives them magical powers, as they can make guns appear and disappear in quick fashion. While walking down a corridor, Graham and Ryan are shown carrying just flashlights, while Graham is also holding a small device. In the next shot, when a group of sniper bots start chasing them, Graham's device has transformed into a massive gun, and Ryan is also now carrying a massive gun. Then, in the shot after that, the guns have vanished again. Does this mean there's a deleted scene where Bradley Walsh punches a sniper bot in the face and steals its weapon? Because that would be awesome. Number 5. Peekaboo. Destiny of the Daleks. The Daleks are the Doctor's most feared enemies, and quite rightly so. They are emotionless killing machines hell-bent on purging the universe of everything they see as impure. They've caused quite a bit of trouble for the Time Lords over the years and have become pop culture icons in the process. Imagine how much less scary they'd be if it was revealed that they were just people sat inside giant pepper shakers. This very nearly happened during 1979's Destiny of the Daleks, where, during a scene where Davros is monologuing about taking over the world, because that's mainly what he does, we almost catch a glimpse of what's inside one of his minions. And we don't mean those pink tentacled thingies. As Davros wheels away, the top of the Dalek on the right hand side moves up a little bit. That's because the person inside thought the scene was over and tried to come up for air too early. This probably would have been fine had they not been positioned really close to the camera. Number 4. Vanishing effects. New Earth. Just a few episodes before all those headphones went missing, something much more impressive totally vanished during David Tennant's first proper outing as the 10th Doctor. In New Earth, the Doctor and Rose travel to New Earth. They're drawn there by the face of Bo, but end up seeing far more than a giant head being pickled. Rose falls foul of Lady Cassandra, who transfers her mind into the companion's body using an illegal psychograph. The machine surrounds Rose in bright blue light, and Cassandra's consciousness enters her body. Yeah, well, in most scenes it does. Just before Cassandra completes the process, the camera cuts to a wide shot of the scene. This only lasts for a second or so, but that's more than enough time to notice that the blue light has totally gone. Was this a budget-saving measure they hoped we wouldn't notice, or a genuine mistake? Either way, it makes Rose look like a glitched video game character stood there in a T-pose. On the plus side, the blue light does come back for the next close-up. Number 3. The Hand of SUTEKH. Pyramids of Mars. Pyramids of Mars is one of the most beloved serials in classic Who. After a nosy archaeologist uncovers a slumbering alien, the 4th Doctor and Sarah Jane Smith must do battle against the awakened extraterrestrial to prevent it from escaping from its ancient burial chamber. The alien in question is SUTEKH, who, despite having the head the size of a small country, is a very serious dude. That said, his intimidation factor is greatly reduced if you take a closer look at one particular scene. SUTEKH spends a lot of time sat in his throne, which is fair enough, but when he finally does stand up toward the end of the story, we realise that he's not alone, as a human hand is very clearly visible on the seat behind him. It tries to quickly duck away, but it ends up very much in the shot. This crew member was very clearly instructed to hold down the cushion on SUTEKH's chair. Maybe there was a risk of it sticking to his arse or something, or maybe they just really wanted to be in the episode and this was their best idea. Number 2. Hold the phone. Midnight. Okay, before I say anything else, how good is Midnight though? This episode took a major risk by breaking up the winning duo of David Tennant and Catherine Tate, but it absolutely worked, pitting Ten against a creature that he couldn't see and seemingly couldn't be stopped. This episode is so good that it doesn't even matter that there's a massive cock-up before the titles even start rolling. Actually, there's 2, but we covered the first one in another list. The second one includes Donna. The Doctor is on the phone with her because she's foregone the trip, wise move, in favour of a spa day. The Time Lord is using what seems to be an ordinary wired payphone, which is a bit weird for an alien planet, but hey, whatever. As for Donna, she's using a phone that seems to work by magic. The design of the phone indicates that it should have a wire coming out of it. However, there's no wire. Again, the Doctor's phone does have a wire, so clearly that's a thing on this planet, so why does Donna's just have this empty slot? Maybe this is a wireless phone, and the crew either forgot or couldn't be bothered to cover up the hole. Either way, you will never be able to watch this scene in the same way again. You're so welcome. Number 1. Missing footage. The Idiot's Lantern. Another episode where the 10th Doctor nearly dies, the Idiot's Lantern sees him tangle with a well-spoken woman trapped inside a television set, who intends to drain the nation of its energy during Queen Elizabeth II's coronation. Insert joke about coronations being draining enough as they are here. Thankfully, our dashing hero manages to save the day by disrupting the wire's transmission. It comes at a cost though, as the Time Lord loses a foot in the process. Wait, what? As the Doctor scales the transmitter on top of Alexandra Palace, his right foot suddenly starts to fade away. Is this a consequence of the wire's power? Nope, it's just the green screen acting up. Obviously, David Tennant wasn't actually dangling many dozens of feet in the air above London in this scene. Coward. The unfortunate byproduct of this is a very tiny error. It doesn't affect our enjoyment of the episode at all, but what's life without a little harsh criticism, eh? Thank you once again to Jacob for the original article, and thank you to Danny, our god editor. You can catch us over on Twitter at WhoCulture, and of course you can catch us on Instagram at WhoCulture as well. Until I'm talking to you again, make sure that you look after yourself, make sure that you look after your nearest and dearest. Be kind, lead with love, and above all else, keep things wibbly wobbly. Thanks very much.